What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Right now it's late February. Many of you are probably looking for maybe upgrading your mower, buying a new mower, and the cost of new mowers has gotten ridiculous. So what I always have done is I've bought used mowers, and if you look at some of my past videos, you'll see how to make simple repairs really cheap and easy. You can do yourself, and you can find a good used mower and have a good quality mower to last you for years. So in this video, what I want to do is share some advice and tips on buying a used mower. But real quick, do me a favor, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Now, it's not only just about looking at the actual mower when you see it in person. We'll go over that in just a moment later on in the video, but first I want to save you guys a lot of time and hassle by kind of filtering out through the ads. There's a lot of red flags, phrases, and things you'll see very commonly on the ads, whether you're looking on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp. There's a lot of things that I want you guys to kind of filter through, and this will save you a lot of time and money and hassle. All right, so the number one red flag phrase that you're going to see on ads is carburetor needs cleaning. This will be 9 out of 10, whether you're buying a mower, generator, dirt bike, whatever, four-wheeler, it's going to say carburetor needs cleaning, and the seller will act like, oh, it's not a big deal, just clean the carburetor. It runs great, but the carburetor needs cleaning. Well, why haven't they cleaned it themselves? Chances are the carburetor needs to be replaced. A lot of mechanics, and you'll see on other videos on YouTube, popular mechanics, small engine mechanics. We're not going to waste our time cleaning taking the carburetor off, cleaning it, putting it back on with fresh gaskets and everything, and hoping that the engine runs properly. Where we can get a carburetor for $40 up to $100, depending on the make and model. To guarantee that the time that we've just invested in this repair is going to yield a properly running unit. So if we take a carburetor off, clean it, and put it back on, and it's still not running right, now we've just lost that time of that and that hassle, and now we have to have a new set of gaskets and everything to go on to the new carburetor. So when you see carburetor needs cleaning, just know chances are the mower is either not running at all or it's running very poorly. And if it's not running at all or running poorly, you're not going to be able to check the other functions, like say engage the blades and everything else. It's going to bog down the motor. You're not going to be able to check to see if the transmission's working properly and other things like that. So be aware of that. So just go ahead and whatever they're charging, know that you're probably going to have to replace the carburetor when it says carburetor needs cleaning. The next phrase you're going to commonly see is that needs a battery. And that's probably true because a lot of these lawnmower batteries only last about 6 months. And especially getting into the season where we're about to, these mowers have been in storage. The owner probably hasn't put a trickle charger on it. They haven't cranked up the mower. They haven't properly maintained that battery. Chances are that battery needs to be replaced. If you're getting over 2 years out of a lawnmower battery, you're probably doing really good. So just assume that you're going to have to replace that battery, even if they don't even mention needs a battery. When they say been sitting a while, again, it's kind of relating back to carburetor needs cleaning. Been sitting a while, gas is probably bad, carburetor's probably gunked up, battery's probably dead. So been sitting a while means you're going to have to put some money into this mower to get it running properly. When I see an ad that has a single photo that's poor quality, I don't even entertain the idea of buying that mower. If they're so lazy, they're only going to take a single poor quality photo Do you think that they've been properly maintaining their mower? No, they haven't. avoid those at all costs. If the mower's really dirty, if you see a lot of dirt and grime all over the mower, leaves, dirt, chances are it's rusted out. And again, it goes back to you're not properly maintaining this mower, and you haven't even gone through the effort of hosing it off before taking a photo to make the ad. Are you the type of person that's going to have you already properly maintained this mower? You're too lazy to at least rinse off the mower and take a couple of quality photos and give a good description. You're not the type of person that I want to buy a mower or anything from. All right, so moving along, what I would suggest to factor in when you're buying a used mower, assume that you're going to have to do the following, guaranteed, almost a given. Assume that you're going to have to put a new battery on it, engine oil and oil filter, spark plug, fuel filter, air filter, and new blades. People will run blades without sharpening. They'll hit a stump or something, bend the blades, and all of this stuff combined, you got a battery. It's going to cost you about $50. Engine oil and oil filter, $20. This is all assuming you're doing it yourself. You're not paying someone else to do it. Spark plug, fuel filter, air filter, blades, you're going to be looking at anywhere from $120 to $150. All right. Plus, you're probably going to need to drain the old gas out, drain the carburetor, put new gas in it, and that's just to get this thing running properly. So factor in what you're paying for the mower, at least $150 if this is a good quality, well-running mower already. And what I like to do is recoup my money. So if I spend $400 like I did on this mower yesterday morning, I bought this for $400, and automatically I'm assuming I'm going to have to put $150 into it. So now I'm at $550. I can probably resell this mower after cleaning it up and making sure it's in running order. I'm thinking probably $700, maybe even $800, $600 minimum. But I want to be able to recoup my money, so I'm just taking my money and storing it right here, putting in parts. I may not get the money for my time, but my time's not going to be all that much with just those simple, maintenance issues, which you would have to do anyway if you already had a mower. So, getting past that point, the very likely things that you might need to do on a lot of these mowers that you're finding on, used, just, like I said, the battery, engine oil, oil filter, spark plug, fuel filter, air filter, and blades, you're going to have to do it. It's going to need to be done. All right, no matter what you buy. But very likely, in addition to that, what you need to do is a new carburetor. Very likely, because most people just they tuck that mower away for the season. Ethanol, infected fuel, all in it, gumming up the carburetor. They let it set. Battery's gone dead. Fuel's gummed up the carburetor. They hop on it. Grass is starting to grow. It's been November, now it's February. They go to crank it up, and if they're lucky, the engine turns over. Battery may have survived, but it's not starting up or running right. Chances are you're going to need a new carburetor. Deck repairs, go ahead and assume, especially if you're buying a mower $500 or less, assume that you're going to have some deck repairs of a spindle, idlers, some belts, and also look at that machine. If it has 200 hours or less, man, that's in the green zone. Now at 200 hours, you're needing to make sure those valves have been adjusted. So you're running a risk of having some valve engine issues. But as long as it's under 200 hours and it's running good, cranking up good, you're probably okay, but chances are you're going to need some idlers, a spindle, or a belt, which can easily be an additional on top of the 120 to 150. You could be looking at another $100 to $200 to get a good quality mower. However, that's still far less than the price of these new mowers, which is just absolutely ridiculous right now. I mean, these mowers that used to cost $1,500 now are probably $2,800 in 2024. Now it does come along with some risk. You have the risk of some PTO clutch issues, and that's where I kind of like these mowers that have the manual engagement of the blades, where there actually isn't really a PTO clutch. It's just a lever that tightens up the belt on a pulley on the engine crankshaft that now is tightening up all the blades, versus an electric clutch where once that electric PTO clutch goes out, you're looking at $250 to $400, $500 just for the clutch alone. All right, not including labor. You're also risking engine issues, head gasket, valve issues, things like that. But I will tell you, the Briggs & Stratton engines, like I had on that Husqvarna in the last videos, that 2-cylinder V-twin, 22 horsepower, that's one of the best motors you can get. This one actually has, the one behind me, this Pull & Pro, has the single-cylinder Briggs & Stratton. They're super easy and cheap to work on, but they do have some issues. You don't want to go into a mower that's been neglected, no oil changes and things of that nature, and we'll get into that in a moment. But also you run the risk of transmission issues. Okay, so but it's a risk versus reward. Overall, if you're buying a new one, you're basically paying that price for all new stuff. All right, the cost of a brand new mower is just ridiculous. Now, if you can find a mower on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and you can get one for $600 or less that has a good seat, good tires, good battery, and the plastic isn't all just faded away, they haven't stored it outside for years, you're doing good. But the main thing is a good deck shell. The deck is probably going to be the most critical thing, and what I would tell you to think about is, when you're looking at these ads, really zoom in and study those photos very carefully. I'll tell you, right before I bought this one, I was going to go buy a Cub Cadet, and in the photos it looked really good, but when I saw it in person, I instantly saw, 50 different things where it was this wannabe mechanic trying to basically rig up and fix all these issues, and it was like basically putting a clothes hanger on, there was just all kinds of issues going on with it. I didn't buy it. There was too many things. Hole in the gas tank, seat was chewed up, had like a dog collar chain holding up the deck, things like that. But I looked later, I said, man, it's almost like I didn't see these in the photos. So I looked at the ad. I was even wondering if it was the same mower. And I looked at the ad again after I saw it in person and walked away from it. I zoomed in on the photos and I could see all those issues. I just didn't look closely at the photos. So look closely at the photos and look at the seller, look at their rating, look at their history, things like that, because you got a lot of scammers, a lot of people just kind of buying and selling stuff. They're using a spray can, painting stuff, putting lipstick on a pig and selling you a piece of junk at a premium price. So be aware of that. Now real quick, let's take a look at this mower that I just bought. I think I got a really good deal. All right guys, so here's the mower I picked up for $400. It's a Poland Pro. It's got the 19 horsepower Briggs & Stratton single cylinder and a 42-inch deck. So one thing that caught my eye when I was looking at the ad was the condition of the seat. Got really lucky that this seat just has no cracks. Going to be really rare to find that on a used mower. This one does not have an hour meter, so I don't know how many hours are on it, but just with the condition of it, I would say it has under 100 hours. However, when I see these scalping wheels on the deck, it makes me think it might have over 100 hours. The guy that I bought it from said he was selling it for a friend who had moved up north, and that the guy had kept it in the garage. And I believe it. With the condition of the plastic and everything, doesn't look like it's been beat down into the sun. Pop the hood. Now, it was really dusty when I got it. All I've done is just wash it off and check the oil. Haven't even changed the oil yet. I've got an air filter ordered, and one thing I'll do is always check the oil. I'll check the air filter, and if the air filter has any holes or is damaged or wet, I won't even bother buying it. I have already extracted the old fuel. It did have some old gunky smelling fuel in it, and put a new fuel filter on it. And one thing that kind of concerns me, and when I'm looking at one, if it has a lot of hours on it and it still has the Briggs & Stratton oil filter on it, it will concern me that they've never replaced it. A lot of people will change the oil, but they won't change the oil filter. So they may have changed it, but that's just one thing that I look at. I feel a little bit better when I see like a different type of, not a Briggs & Stratton, but a different type. At least it tells me that they've changed the oil, at least that initial oil filter from when it was brand new. But the other thing that I was happy with was the condition of the deck. We do have a couple of spots where it's missing some paint, and that's just coming from where it's been probably hitting this bracket right here. But overall, the deck shell's in really good shape. The tires and wheels are in really good shape, very clean. And speaking of like batteries, I could tell it was put on at least at September or after September of 2023, so it's not very old. And these Poland Pros, these are pretty much like it's pretty much a Husqvarna. And real quick on these serial numbers, Husqvarna has different types of serial numbers, but when you have when it's the 7-digit is a letter, then that is the month, day, and year. So this is a 2017, July of 2017 was the date this was built. Other numbers, the year is the first two numbers if there's no letter in the middle. So that's how you can tell. But speaking of examining those photos, when I was looking at the photos of this ad, I already knew it had that damage right there, which I can fix that. Being a welder, I can fix that pretty easily, but it's not a big deal with it being so close to this chute. But there's no holes or anything else. There's just a couple of spots. This is pretty common where the belt will rub. But overall, I'm really happy with this unit, except I did break my own advice. I didn't realize this one has a plastic transmission, but at least it's not the John Deere. That they had a lot of problems with those transmissions. I'm not sure if this one's ever had any type of problems, but one thing, he did have a pin in here, so that's a warning, a red flag. They've been pulling a trailer, which I do not recommend with any of these. Don't pull any amount of weight really. And I'm not sure why this person had put some tape or something over these spacers here. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. It's just like some tape or something, like duct tape. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to take that off. But I cranked up the engine. It ran good. It did cut out on me a few times after I got home with it. It wouldn't stay running very long, and it was kind of cold when I first picked it up, so I thought it was just, kind of a little bit cold natured, but after putting some fresh fuel and a fresh spark plug in it, it solved that issue. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I definitely think I'll be able to resell it, make a profit on it, or at least keep it and use it for the season and still recoup all my money. One thing I do recommend doing when you're testing one of these before you buy it is engage the blades, make sure it's not making any really rough, loud noises, because that's going to indicate bad bearings, either on a spindle or one of the idlers. And also, if it starts making a really bad noise when you let off the parking brake, and it basically tightens up the drive belt or the traction belt between the engine and the transmission, if it starts making a noise, you know it's one of those idlers between the for the traction belt, the drive belt between the engine and the transmission. Not a big deal to replace, but that's just another expense that, you know, if you hear that noise, that you're going to have to do. So guys, I hope this video helps you out. And one other thing I will say before we wrap this video up is some advice when you're buying, looking on, whether it be OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, or whatever. There's some really good deals that come up occasionally where they don't really care about the money, they just want to sell it. And that's how I feel happened with this mower. They were just ready to get rid of it. They didn't really care exactly how much they got for it. They were asking $600. I got it for $400. And I'm not the best negotiator, I'm not claiming that, but one advice that I know works is have your trailer ready and have your cash ready. When you go to looking, and as soon as you see that deal, don't just say, hey, is this available or whatever, like they get 1,000, especially on Facebook Marketplace. Hey, is it available? But write something like, hey, my name's Bob, I'm over here in this town right next to you, I can come right now and pay you $400. I could be there in 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, come on, man, because they're just tired of getting calls or text or messages with people nitpicking them to death or whatever, wasting their time. When you say, hey, I'll be there in 30 minutes or an hour, got cash in hand, I'll come get it right now, you're probably going to get it, okay, as long as you're being within reason, not lowballing them too much. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, check out my other videos. I got a lot of videos that'll help you guys out making repairs on your mowers, save you a lot of time and money. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll have more videos like this coming soon. Thanks for watching.